Okay, so as promised, well, I not as promised because I forgot to record the old deck if I destroyed it. So I'm just going to show off my new Symphogear deck that I'm building, or like the meta deck I'm building. I haven't finalized on everything yet. I mean, so far the test run hasn't been too successful, and partially it's not because of the deck, it's because of me. I have been very unlucky, especially today when I was playing. So when you start with a 5 climax turn 1 every single game, you really can't get much testing done. But I personally believe this deck can work. I know the issues behind the deck, but I will still try to make it work. I mean, when I have successful games with this, it's quite dominating when you do it correctly, actually. So yeah, let's start with level 0s then, huh? 3 copies of the Beach Tsubasa. That's a 4K beater. Just on play mill 2. If you do not hit any climaxes, then she stays standing. If you hit climax, you just so then it's like if you have a backup plan, she's a pretty good card. She's obviously not that good late game. So if you need like an attack or something, you have no hand and then you play her. So I might replace one copy with something else. I used to run 2, but I changed it to 3. It's not the bad card, regardless. It's a mill. I mean, as long as you know that you're not likely going to mill into climaxes, it's a saver. When you're level 0, if you're screwed, you can save yourself. I have kind of saved myself with this card a few times. I run 3 runners right now. I don't feel like running a runner is as important as before, so 3 I think is good enough. You can still run 4, maybe like take out 1 copy of the beach, but I think color fixing wise as well, blue is more important in this deck. 2 copies of Suicider, Tsubasa's partner Kanade. She is still like the best Suicider at level 0 if you are running anything regarding Tsubasa. Because pay 2 salvage of Tsubasa, including herself, it's still a very good effect. 2 copies of the best, probably one of the best cards in the new set at level 0. That's the Tsubasa, and what she does is on play, you can pay 1, ditch 1, search 1. So it's a searcher. That's already really good. I mean, back then we only had the regular searcher, but she has a secondary effect. On play, check top. If it's music, add it to your hand. Will reveal top. Add it to your hand, and then you ditch 1. So that's a hand fix as well. Very good card. I run 1 copy of the Hibiki and Edofe 9 of 9. This card is a 500 to center. It doesn't really matter, but the main effect is to salvage ignition module, which we will see soon. I run 2 copy of the Revival Gear Maria as my support or assist at level 0. I might change it, but this is a really good card, so I may change it to a level up back then. But currently, I think this is useful. This deck has a lot of salvage power, so I'm not too worried about getting right cards in my hand, as long as I can build the proper stock. That's also why I'm quite heavily leaning on the attacking. But yeah, Maria, global 500. When anime reverse your character, pump 500 somewhere. It's a really good card. 2 copies of the Hibiki Brainstorm. Obviously, it's either Hibiki or Miku from set 1. So I run Hibiki personally. I don't actually draw her much or hit the Brainstorm, but searching, in my opinion, is better most of the time. Okay, so now move on to level 1. 4 copies of the Sogongnia Maria. Obviously, this Maria is 4K base. It gets 500 for each other music character on field, so a full field with no assist will be 6K. Seems low, but then it has a climax combo with Horizon Spear, which is buffed this pack. That's why I'm using it. Horizon Spear now comes with a promo salvage trigger. I still check 1 copy of +2 soul just because sometimes it will get you out of situations that you probably won't win. But yeah, it's a very simple combo. You play the climax, pay 1, salvage 1 on attack. So the deck's weakness does have a weakness against decks such as like anti-salvage deck, but I'm willing to give up a turn of attacking if I can salvage the right cards at level 2. I don't really have to worry, as long as I can get the stock and everything, I don't think I worry about it too much. 3 copies of Chris B training. This Chris is just it's a level 1 0 suicider. Secondary effect is if the opponent cancels your attack, you can pay 1, salvage 1. So it's especially combined with the +2, so that can happen. So again, like I said, it's a good, like I said, the deck has a lot of salvage power. It does, the main problem here is this. At level 1, it eats your stock like mad. So building proper stock at level 0, and as well as conserving the right stock amount at level 1 is very important. You can't just go lucky, go trigger happy and go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna salvage. No, you can't do that, because you actually need to get your correct pieces for level 2. You don't want to waste all your stock, because level 2 does require stock as well. 2 copies of the Shift Tsubasa, still a very good card. Shift Tsubasa, it's a 500 in front on enemy turn and +1 level, only on enemy turn. The main reason is she's a on-play salvage for the event Ameno Habakiri, which we'll get to later. 2 copies of the new rescue mission Tsubasa. It's a 500 assist and +1 level in front. It's permanent, unlike the other one. The other effect is it's a brainstorm, pay 1, tap her. It's a draw brainstorm. It's not as good as the Hibiki, so mainly I still want to be using Hibiki for brainstorming. Alright, so now moving on to level 2. Moving on to level 2, I run 1 copy. Again, I have a lot of salvage power. If I need it, I will get it. Most likely, it's a copy of the Chris NT level changer. This is not that good of an NT level changer. That's another reason why I only run 1 copy. It's one of those pay to kill a character on my side of the field, and then you don't even bottom deck the enemy, you just kill it. In my opinion, bottom decking is much better in a sense in some cases, because if you kill it, they can encore it. I mean, they can't attack with this turn, but then they can encore it. So that could be a problem. Alright, level 2 is very event heavy. I run 3 copies of Ignite module. I may change it. The reason why I run 3 is only because I only take 1 copy of the Ignite module salvage. But Ignite module is a new type of card that's like pendant. It goes to memory when you play it. It's an event. So there's 3 of them. I run the red one in this deck, which is the best one. In my opinion, it's by far the best one. It is a 2/1. Salvage 2 cards and then ditch 1 card from your hand. So it's hand fix as well as salvage. But there is a thing that there's a limit restriction, I believe. No, never mind. There is actually no restriction for this Ignite module. Okay, so Ignite module goes to memory, which we'll get to. 2 copies of Ameno Habakiri. I'm thinking about either bumping this to 3 and keeping the Ignite module down to 2, or this one is just good at 2. I mean, I do have salvages for it. The new version of Ameno Habakiri is so much better than the old ones. I mean, it doesn't trigger the effects from the old ones. Like the first set, you need to have memory, and second set, you have to use the specific one in order. But this one is not in super minors like the ones before. So this one is you bounce a level 2 or higher Tsubasa from your field to your hand, and then you just straight up play any Tsubasa from your hand. Very, very useful. If you run the healer Tsubasa, which sadly I chose not to, because I like the other card. Well, I mean, to be honest, I think the healer Tsubasa is probably better. I'll probably end up using the healer Tsubasa in the end, because I think the healer Tsubasa is probably in a sense better. But I guess they all have their own strength. But then I run both in my Tsubasa fan deck. So anyways, that's not important right now. So that's a 2/1 and 2 level assists. On play, same just like before. On play, you tap, shove a card from the top of your deck. You can pay events with it. So what crazy kind of loops can you do with this? Play this. That's 1 stock. Pay 1 stock. Tap. Top deck. Play Ameno Habakiri. Bounce this back, and then whatever the top deck goes in, because it pays for the event with the marker. So then your Ameno Habakiri is free. You paid 1 stock to get a level 3 from your hand to the field. That is so strong. And if you can get more than 1 copy, for example, if you can somehow salvage another. So what I personally I think is a very good combo is obviously this. So let's say you do this, pay 1, salvage this, and then you can just pay 1 and then bounce this back to your hand, and then you can get the level 3, and then this is in the waiting room, and if you have more stock, play this and then bounce this back, salvage this, and then you can do the same thing and then play until you play all the Tsubasas that's in your hand. So I think that's possibly one of the most interesting combos coming out of the new set. I really like it. Yeah, so that's why I say level 1 you have to try to conserve on stock. It will benefit you greatly at level 2. Around 4 copies of the new Tsubasa. I don't think this card is exactly the best card. Well, it's definitely far from the best card in the set. Because the best card come out next. But she does have a lot of uses. She is 3-2, 11. So all the Symphogear level 3s in this set are base 11k. And some even have 3 soul. If she has 3 soul, she would have been a very good card. But sadly she only had 2 soul. So okay, so what her effect is, when 2 of her is in the waiting room, -1 level from hand. So she has a pre-drop requirement without using the event card already. So that's a good way of I will have to say that's a backup plan, as the event is the cheaper way to get her out. So what she does is she's just a pretty big beater. Enemy turn, enemy draw phase, you choose a character on the field and then give it 4k. And so then, like, without assist, she can pump herself to 15k every single turn. She has to be in front row to do it. She cannot be in back row. But I think it's a very good pressure tactic at level 2. It'll force your opponent to probably crash into you. Because, I mean, what are they gonna do against 15k at level 2? Not likely they can't do anything. Yeah, I will say switching this out for the set 2 heal is pretty viable as well. Alright, best card in the set. I honestly think this is the best card in the whole set. 3-2 Chris. It has, oh, sorry, I almost forgot to mention. Well, I'll explain it together then. So the Chris is a 3-2 climax combo with 2k1 Soul Mega Death Fuga. On attack, burn 1. It's just a very straightforward finisher. You just attack and then you burn. And she is 3 soul, so that is something special that you have to watch out for. She is 3 soul, and her secondary ability is also very, very powerful. So let's say your opponent attack you, and you take the damage. Let's say they attack you with 1 damage. You took it. You can check top deck for each of the copy on the field. So check top deck, and then you get to choose if you want to keep it there or if you want to mill it. So if you have 3 copies, you get to check top deck once. Or if you don't think, oh, that's not a climax, you mill it, and then you check again, and then it's not climax, you mill it, and you check again, oh, it's climax, you keep it there, and then you cancel the next amount of damage, which also works against burns, which is very important. Because if your opponent decide to burn you, and then let's say the 1 hit, oh, now you can check the top deck a few times, and you might be able to cancel the big attack, because usually it's like a burn and a 3 or 4 soul swing, right? So I think that is possibly the best. It's like the best finisher in the deck, and it's also has the strongest secondary effect in my opinion. So these 2 cards also have to interact with the Ignite module. If Ignite module is not in your memory, so if you didn't play this card anytime before you play those 2 cards, and what happens is during your encore phase, they will die. They just go to your waiting room if you don't have it in your memory. So that's why I run 3 copies, and I also run 1 event salvage for the Ignite module. There's 2 other types which I don't run, but yeah, I think it's pretty important. And as for climax, I guess pretty simple. 2 copies of 2k1 Soul Mega Death Fuga, which climax combos. 2 random copies of Gate, 3 Horizon Spirit Gate, and 1 +2 Soul Gate. I don't think this deck is too terrible, but I have to keep testing it. I might change the Tsubasa back to the level set 2 Tsubasa, and then I'll probably, if I do that, I'll take out some gates, and then I'll put in the book trigger for the set 2 Tsubasa climax combo. But obviously you don't want to clog your you don't want to be clogging your I guess your climax zone when level 3 hits, because you do want to be using the only another big problem is with this set this deck is no healer. So that is something I struggle with. But then again, I mean, anti-heal is potentially in the wild. I mean, people don't really use it anymore, I don't think. I haven't met any. But yeah, it is. Anyways, I think it is a viable way of building it. If I do end up changing it, I'll update you guys with my new build. But so far, this is what I came up with. I like it a lot. When it's just when your level 2 go well, your opponent just gets pretty much locked down. And when you hit level 3, you have a strong finisher and it's a 3 soul attacker. And also your opponent, when they attack you or burn you, you have higher chance of canceling. It's a very decent set. Yeah, and that's all for now.